I know you will not believe that people have started receiving the mark of the beast. Yes, I agree. But what we need to take note of is that even though the issuance of the mark hasn't yet started, Satan and his agents are using destructive means to possess people, lie and convince them, and then keep them trapped till the time Antichrist will prevail and will begin to give out the mark of the beast. And when these people that have been possessed and captured by the devil, when the Antichrist begin to give out the mark of the beast, these captives of the devil will have no option than to quickly give in to receive this mark. In today's video, I'm going to share a revelation with you. The Lord has been merciful enough to give a sister a revelation concerning how the devil is using various products, items, food, stuff that we purchase from the market to manipulate the brains, the spirit of people to the extent that once the Antichrist manifests himself, there will be no other option for them. I want you to take your time to listen to this revelation because we all know that the devil is very smart. And please make sure you pray and seek discernment over this message. If this is your first time watching a video on this channel, I'd like to say a very big thank you. God bless you for choosing to watch this video. And then also, if you have any revelation, testimony, near-death experience, or dream that you would want to share with us, just feel free to pick up my email address in the description section of this video, record an audio or a video narrating your message, and then send it in. Once I receive permission from the Lord, I am going to put your message on the channel. All right, so please pay close attention as I read out this sister's revelation to you. No part has been taken out and nothing has been added to the story. God bless you. All right.
The encounter I am sending to you is the very reason I left atheism, and this has made me embrace the life of Christ in my life. If God can be merciful enough to reveal to me the hidden secrets of the devil and expose the devil's agenda of using popular stores to carry out his evil plans and then heal, then I see no reason why I should remain on a path that is full of questions and keeps getting people confused always. The stores that serve as agents for this demonic Antichrist agenda are the popular stores we enter daily to buy stuff. May God open our hearts to listen and enlighten us. Some weeks ago, I went through something that changed my life forever. It all started with a sickness that I could not seem to shake off. In the morning, I woke up feeling unusually weak. My body was hot, and I was shivering at the same time. I knew right away that I had a fever. I did what most people would do. I got some medication and took it as instructed. At first, I thought I would get better soon, but that was not the case. Hours passed, and sometimes I would feel a bit of relief, like the fever was going away. But before long, the chills would return, and my body would ache all over again. It felt like a battle inside me. One moment, I had hope that the medicine was working, and the next moment, I was back to feeling cold, tired, and helpless. No matter what I did, I could not get better. It was frustrating. On the evening of my encounter, that's on the 29th of January, 2025, I felt completely drained. The fever had worn me out, and nothing seemed to help around 6 p.m. I took my medication once again, hoping this time it would finally work. My body felt heavy, and my head pounded with every turn or shake. I decided to lie down and rest, thinking that sleep might give me some relief. As I closed my eyes, everything around me disappeared. Before I knew it, I drifted into a deep sleep. But this was no ordinary sleep, if I am to say. I found myself in a dream that felt so real, like I had stepped into another world. At first, I did not realize I was dreaming. It felt like any normal evening after work. In the dream, I had just closed from work. I was very hungry in the dream, so I decided to buy some food before heading home. The streets were quiet, unlike always, with only a few people walking by. As I moved from one shop to another, I noticed something strange. Every single shop was closed. I kept walking, expecting to find at least one place open, but no matter how far I went, The shutters were down, and the lights were off. The usual noise of evening life was missing. I couldn't find any food vendors, no smells of cooking, and no voices calling out to customers. It felt almost as if the entire city had gone silent. Then, without warning, the scene changed. Suddenly, I was somewhere completely different. The quiet streets disappeared, and I found myself in a busy place this time around. It was filled with shops and long lines of people. I felt relieved to finally see food being sold here. I looked around, trying to understand where I was. As I reached the front of the queue, it was finally my turn to place an order for the food. The vendor handed me a package, and at first, everything seemed normal. But when I looked closely at the packaging, I noticed something strange. Underneath the box, there was a logo, and it wasn't a regular shop logo. It was the image of a beast. Its eyes looked fierce, and its body was covered in sharp edges, almost like armor. I glanced around to see if anyone else had noticed, but the other customers seemed unfazed. Curious and uneasy, I looked at the packages they were holding. That's when I saw even more disturbing symbols. One package had a broken cross, shattered into pieces. Another had the image of a mermaid. Her eyes were dark. Some packages bore the mark of dragons curling around flames. Each symbol felt wrong, as if it carried a hidden meaning that no one else could see. My heart raced. The voice I had heard earlier echoed in my mind, telling me to stay focused and observe. I began to realize that this was no ordinary market. Something dark was hidden behind these shops, and the food they were selling carried more than just physical nourishment. The voice suddenly shouted, loud and clear, "Throw the food away!" My hands were shaking as I looked down at the package. Everything inside me told me to obey what the voice said. Without a second thought, I dropped the food to the ground. The moment the package hit the dirt, everything changed. The shop owners, who had seemed distant and were busy serving other customers, snapped their heads toward me. Their eyes were full of anger. One of them pointed at me and shouted, and instantly they all began chasing me. As I ran, something strange happened. It was as if my mind suddenly opened, and I began to understand things I hadn't seen before. It wasn't just about the food, the logos, the strange symbols. They were more than decorations. They carried a dark message, hidden in plain sight. I realized that these shops weren't just selling products. They were part of something bigger, something evil working behind the scenes. The voice had warned me for a reason. Most people had no idea that these businesses were secretly operating for the Antichrist. They disguised themselves as ordinary places, but their purpose was far from normal. The food wasn't just food, it was a tool. Consuming it was more than filling the stomach. It was preparing the mind, slowly influencing people without them even knowing. The logos on the packages weren't random symbols. They were marks of darkness, quietly pushing people closer to accepting the mark of the beast. As I kept running, I realized the scariest part. This wasn't about one market or a single shop. It was happening everywhere. People were unknowingly walking into traps, and every purchase, every bite, was slowly drawing them into a web of control. Suddenly, I was awake. My heart was beating so fast, and my body felt light, almost as if a weight had been lifted off me. I sat up, trying to catch my breath. The fever that had tormented me for days was completely gone. I placed my hand on my forehead. No heat. My body felt strong, almost renewed. It was as if I had been healed in my sleep. But more than my body, something had changed inside me. The dream wasn't just a dream. It was a message, a warning straight from God. I could feel it deep in my spirit. I understand that the world around us is not as simple as it seems. There are hidden forces working quietly, preparing hearts and minds for what is to come. For the first time in my life, I saw everything clearly. I realized that it was Jesus who had healed me, both in body and in spirit. When I was at my weakest, he reached out and pulled me back from the edge. He revealed the hidden dangers around me and showed me the path to safety. How could I ignore that? I thought about all the times I had heard about Jesus, but never truly understood who he was. Now, it felt like my heart was being flooded with reasons to believe his love, his protection, his sacrifice. It all became real to me at that moment. He had been there all along, waiting for me to see him. Tears filled my eyes as I knelt beside my bed. I knew what I had to do. Right there, I gave my life to Jesus. I surrendered everything, my fears, my doubts, my past. I asked him to lead me and show me
God
his
bless you.
ways.
All right. Thank you very much for listening to our dear sister's revelation to the end. I strongly believe that you had everything for yourself. Now, we need to pray over this message. We need to seek discernment from God. And then also, we need to be careful, just like how it was stated in her revelation. We need to be careful of the kind of food items, even if it's not food items, whatever product we purchase on the market, we need to be careful. We need to examine it. And then I believe that some of them might physically not be able to be examined. It is only the Holy Spirit that will be able to detect that this product or whatever product you're purchasing on the market is not right for you. So just like we always do, we need to get into prayer. Christians, this is the time we need to pray more and more and more. If you are praying 1 or 2 hours in a day, I strongly believe that you need to increase it to 3 or 4 hours. We need to increase our prayer time. Let us get into a strong bond and connection with the Lord so that whatever thing, whatever smart move, whatever trap that the devil is going to establish before us, we will be able to seek discernment upon all these things and be able to overcome and rebuke them. Okay, so God bless you for listening to this message. Make sure you share it out with your friends and family so that they may also receive the message of the Lord. Thank you.